Who's your emergency contact? Who should we notify in the case of death? Welcome to the USP, where I spent the last 2+ decades of my life. We're in Atwater. The homie just killed a guard, and now we're all locked down. We thought we were just gonna come back out after count. But when the next day when my homie told me, hey, you were right. James and Joe killed the police. I knew he was hit. Now, at this time, I've really never followed politics or anything like that. But they gave me 26 years. So the way I counted my time, really just to help me with my own mental state, is because, if I count day, I got 26 years, so I don't even know how to add up how many days that is. So let's say I count the months. That's 310 months. And if I count the years, that's 26 years. So instead of counting the days or the months or the year, I just started counting every election cycle. When I first went down, Bill Clinton was still the president of the United States. Then in 2000, Bush won. So I said, all right, after that, you got 2004, 2008, so on and so forth. So I figured, 6 elections, I'll be home, right? 5 elections, I'll be home. So I can break up my time in that way. It might sound funny, but really just think about it. If you're sitting there in a cell, and these cells are no bigger than your bathroom. And being me, I've always found myself in a shoe or locked down. Whether I'm on a compound and the compound is just rocking, or I find myself in a situation and I go to the shoe. I mean, just imagine sitting in a box day in and day out. The cell is about 8 by 12. When you come in the door, to your right or to your left, depending on what cell you're in. But in this, where I'm locked down right now, upstairs in the corner, when you come in to the right, you got a sink and you got a toilet with one of them stainless steel mirrors. And some of them are all, been scrubbed down so many times, you can't even really see your reflection no more. A foot beyond that, to your right, you got a little table with a stool that comes out. To your left, right directly in front of the door, about maybe 5 feet in, is your bunk bed. It's stained, it's all metal. And like me, I don't like to sleep with the mattress, because all the mattresses are all jacked up. They all got bumps and stuff in them. So what I would do is just go give me like 2 or 3 blankets and just fold them over each other, lay them on the bed, and then stuff another blanket in a pillowcase, because you don't have pillows. They don't give you pillows. Like, if you want pillows, people will make them for you. They'll go get a stuffing, out of a mattress, and, sew some sheets together and make yourself a pillow. There's a lot of people in there that you run into that has a lot of different talents, that are able to make things and fix radios and, do extra things to hustle. But we're locked down. We're thinking, shit, we're going to be down here for a minute, Like, on the door, you might have a crack about maybe a ½ inch. This is all the access you have to the outside world outside of your cell. We cut up our sheets, take out the threads, and spin them into ropes, and then make what we call a car, a vehicle where you can slide your line under the door. What I like to do is I'll take a bar of soap, I'll let it soak to where the soap gets wet so it can be smashed down and shaped. And I'll find me a plastic container, usually something from your Hall's, that Hall's cough drop bag. So it comes out about this thick, but it's thin. So you just, after you smash the soap, you put the soap in there and you smash it, flatten it out as you can, put a hole through it, loop your string, and now you got a car. So even though we're locked down, we're still, participating in commerce. Somebody downstairs might have some cigarettes or something. So since I'm upstairs, I would have to cut me a cardboard, push that out to the edge of the rail so it's like a ramp, and then slide my car, my fishing line, slide my car to where it hits the ramp, bounce, and goes over the rail and goes downstairs. When I first came in, it was a trip because of how genius these people are to be able to move around, to be able to get stuff. And we're all locked down. And for the most part, everybody helps each other out. Because if I'm in cell 20, but I need to get downstairs to my Homeboys cell in 104, obviously, I can't fish all the way down there. So I'm gonna have to haul down a tier. Hey, whoever, help. I'm trying to get over here. And I'll drop my line. They'll fish it over and send it, and so on and so forth. Now, when we was in, but one of the craziest things I ever seen was when I was in Lewisburg. Like after I left Atwater, I went to the Smooth. I know I'm getting ahead of myself, but I'm just trying to describe to you how it is, what we do when we're locked down. They had a hole. There's in Lewisburg, the prison was made back in 1930, maybe 33. But it's an old ass prison. When you pull up, it's like a castle. This thing is about to fall apart, right? They have no heater, no air conditioner. In your room, they got a pipe that goes, one of them old steam pipes that goes from the bottom floor to the third floor. And with each floor, the pipe gets bigger. If you're downstairs on the bottom floor, like I've been on all 3 floors, in the wintertime, it barely warms you up. But if you're upstairs in the wintertime, the pipe is like this big. You have to take your blanket, wrap it around the pipe, and tie it so your ass don't cook in that cell, because there's only one temperature. They can't turn it down. They can only turn it off or turn it on. And being in Lewisburg in the Smooth, because down there you're locked down. People say 23-1, but it's really 24 hours, because you might get wrecked. You're supposed to get wrecked an hour a day, 5 days a week. But if they have a situation where somebody's bucking in the cell or whatnot, then your wreck is going to get canceled. So you're practically in there 24/7. And if you don't know how to adjust, how to do things to occupy your mind, you're going to be banging your head against the wall. I did 24 years. Out of those 24 years, if you add up all the time I spent in the shoe, this is just the shoe. This is not even being locked down on the compound. If you add all the time that I spent in the shoe, I probably did 8 years locked down. I've done 2-year stretches, but every time I go to a shoot, it's 6 months, 7 months. They put me under investigation for different things that I'll take you through, because this is what you're doing right now. You're going to come chill with me on the yard. So everything I'm doing, some of these stories might not be so graphic with the violence or whatever, but I'm just taking you guys through the everyday routine with me on the yard. So like I said, we're locked down in Atwater right now. But every time we get locked down, I use that opportunity to get my mind right and to get my body right. I don't sit and mope because there's nothing I can do about the situation. It's what it is. And either you let yourself go crazy or you occupy your time. I was fortunate enough that I had friends out here that if I needed a book or something, they'll shoot me the book. I think I read the Twilight series while I was locked down. I read the Harry Potter series. I read Clan of the Cave Bears, right? It's Cave Bears. Yeah, it's whatever. But being locked down, you're forced to do something to escape. So I started reading. And in the beginning, out here, English is my second language. I mean, now it's pretty much my first language because I've been gone so long, I really can't even speak Cambodian or Khmer that much anymore, that well anymore. Because I never really call home. The only time I speak Khmer is when I speak to my mom or my dad. And I only call them maybe once a month, twice. And it's not because I don't want to talk to them or don't want to hear them, but it's hard to do time when you have one foot out here, because then you're going to let yourself get affected by the things that go on out here. And if you let yourself get emotionally affected by the stuff that goes out here, that could be dangerous for you, because you could have a bad day one day because of something happening out here, and you react to a situation in a different way than you otherwise would. And then that situation could end up being something very harmful that wasn't necessary. I'm human. So I tell you, I'm not here to try to present you that I'm some hardcore tough guy or anything like that. Everything I ever did in a penitentiary, I felt was necessary for my survival. Whether that's defending myself, or whether it's being the aggressor, whether it's hustling, or, lack for a better word, extortion, pressing. I mean, it's the life that I lived. So I end up being a product of my environment, because I understand where we're at and I understand what it takes to survive. So we're locked down in the cell, and like I said, I take this opportunity to educate myself and to, get healthy. I started working out again, because, when I got to Atwater, I always played handball and basketball, but I never really did the 100 burpees and Navy SEALs and all that stuff, because that stuff is just, they don't call it a workout, for nothing. It's work. But what else do you have to do? You're locked down 24/7. We're not getting no showers. We're not getting no rec. When you're locked down in a compound, it's not 23-1. It's 24 hours straight up. No breaks. It took us 2 weeks before they started showering us. And in the shoe, it's cool because in the shoe, you have a cell. I mean, you have a shower in your cell. But on the compound, it's just a cell. So you got to take a bird bath. What a bird bath is, you fill up your sink. You find something to plug your sink. I just cut a little circle off of plastic, put it on there, a little hard plastic, fill it up. You got your bowl. You get stripped down butt naked, sit on your porcelain toilet, and just pour water on top, hey, shampoo. I mean, I was in the cell by myself, so it was cool. I mean, I just did whatever I wanted through the course of my day. But when you have a cellie, you're going to want to shower every day. I don't know people that want to go 2 or 3 days without taking a bath or whatever. But it just becomes cumbersome, because now you have 2 grown-ass men trying to share a bathroom. And a lot of incidents that's happened in there while we're locked down is cellies hurting each other, because they get to the point where you can't get away from there. There's no break. You can't just, because you know we're all going to have bad days. We're all going to go through whatever emotions that we're going to go through, but you can't take no time out. You know, you can't get away when you're locked down for months. You can't get away from your celly and just be like, you know, decompress or whatever it is that you need to get yourself back. And eventually, when that animosity, when that, you know, every little tick that your celly does starts getting on your nerves, gets to a point where you guys just blow up. And it's unfortunate because a lot of times these people are friends, are homeboys. But, you know, it's the stress and the environment that we're in. And I don't want to say that they put us in, because, you know, every one of us in there, outside the exceptions, those ones that are actually innocent, the rest of us did something to get there. You know, so most of us understand that, and most of us know we accept that. Doesn't mean we like it. Doesn't mean that the condition can't be better. And that definitely doesn't mean that the way they operate, the way they treat us, the way they put in condition is humane. But for the most part, I know I'm being punished. And I accepted that. I never cried about any of my time. I just cried about how they got me, how they convicted me, and how they gave me all them extra years because I wouldn't cooperate. You know, that's why you see on my logo that I come out, it's a skull smashing a rat, skull smashing a canary. You know, and when I speak on these things, it has nothing to do with the civilians. It has nothing to do with, you know, a citizen seeing a crime and wanting to, you know, protect their neighborhood or whatever. I mean, I think people should mind their business, but I don't have any issues with that. You know, when I think about, you know, what's happened to me, I don't cry about the civilians, but no civilian testified against me. You know, the people that testified against me were dudes that were sitting next to me talking about, yeah, they down, they're the homie, and all this shit. But when shit blew up, you know, they don't really understand, yeah, all him, all him, all him. But that was just, you know, but I've been fortunate because most of my homeboys were solid. You know, my hood got RICO, TOP got RICO back in 2006. 35 people got RICO, and none of them cooperated. You don't gotta take my word for that. That's in the newspaper. You know, I think we're the first one in the history of all federal indictment. They didn't turn on each other. You know, they didn't testify against each other. Like, I have people on my case that testify against me. You know, I wish it wasn't them that caught the indictment, but with me. But I had one or two people that testify against me. But the rest of my homies, they stay solid. And through the course of my time, even when I'm locked down in the cell, if I write a letter to one of them and tell them I needed something, they always make sure I had it. You know, when I finish these videos, I tell you, like, you know, on man time, there's certain behaviors we don't tolerate. But it's not only that, is that I've been fortunate enough to have the people around me that really believe in this thing, really believe in this life, and really believed in I'm my brother's keeper. You know I hear a lot of people that when they're locked down, they're like, oh man, F their homies, F their family, F this and F that. You know, for me, you know, when they're complaining about everybody else around them, in my head, I'm asking them, like, well, there's got to be something. Why is everybody else all effed up? Why isn't it, you know, why aren't you looking at yourself? Why aren't your homies looking out for you? Why isn't your family accepting your calls? And I've done a lot of things, but I can honestly say right here in front of you, I've never screwed a friend over. Not even an associate. You know, if we make a deal, it's a deal. You know, the people that I've screwed over are busters that got it coming. But I've never pinched no bag. I never stole from none of my homies and none of my friends. I've always been the first one there and the last to leave. And I'm so grateful that through the course of my bid that the homies out here, you know, appreciate that and recognize me for who I am. So every time I got on the phone, if I needed something, they made sure I got it. Because, you know, like I always tell you, or been telling you, I don't speak for everybody. I can't. And I'm not here to tell you that all convicts, all gangsters are up to par, are good dudes, because there's a lot of scums out there. You know, but one of my saying is that you gotta dig through a lot of dirt to find a gem. And I've been fortunate enough to be able to surround myself with gems. We have standards. All of us that hang out with me, that's in my circle, there's certain behaviors we don't tolerate. There's certain behaviors that we're not gonna accept no matter what. We don't violate no kids. We don't violate women. We don't tell on people. And let me add another one. And we don't steal. Welcome to the USP.